Federal Executive Council at the Aso Chambers of the State House of Abuja. Monday's meeting, the first in 6 weeks, follows the President's various foreign engagements in Equatorial Guinea, China and the United Kingdom over the past month. And following the recent flood incident that occurred across the country, the Federal Executive Council deliberated and agreed on the immediate establishment of Disaster Relief Fund in order to build enough resilience response in any case of such disasters associated with climate change. In the same vein, the Council also resolved to institute a technical committee to reassess the integrity of all dams across the country with a view to ascertaining the state of such infrastructure towards mitigating the occurrence of future disasters and also enhance power generation, water supply and irrigation. Ministers of Water Resources and Sanitation and Agriculture and Food Security hinted these as part of the resolutions reached at the Federal Executive Council meeting, which was presided over by President Bola Tinubu. The Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister for the Economy also hinted that President Tinubu has advised that the Economic Stabilization Bill be sent to the National Assembly. This bill, the minister said, is a fiscal policy and tax reforms bill which emanated from the desire to open up vistas for economic development and employment opportunities. Meanwhile, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, announced a series of approvals for the infrastructural development of the adjoining satellite towns of the nation's federal capital. The first phase of such project approvals by the federal government focused on Gwagwalada and Buari area councils. Nigeria's Minister of Defense Mohammed Badiru addressed the 79th United Nations General Assembly, emphasizing Nigeria's long-standing commitment to international peace and security. He said at the summit of the Future Interactive Dialogue Enhancing Multilateralism and International Peace and Security that since our first deployment in the Congo in 1960, Nigeria has contributed 41 peacekeeping missions globally. He stated, highlighting the deployment of over 200,000 Nigerian troops in the UN operations, Badiru called for reforms of the UN Security Council to ensure Africa is represented with permanent seats, arguing that this would enhance global stability. The Defense Minister stressed the importance of building professional African armies to combat terrorism and urged for operating the Africa Standby Force. The minister reiterated Nigeria's commitment to combating transnational organized crime. He emphasized the urgent need for comprehensive strategies that include prevention, early detention, protection, law enforcement to address the rising alliances between bandits and terrorists. Badiru called on the international community to intensify efforts to control the proliferation of small arms and light weapons in conflict zones, particularly in the Sahel region.
Just had the very first on-the-side meeting with some Chinese conglomerate who is trying to see areas of partnership and investment. This is called the GAICO. GAICO, it's a Global Energy Connection Development and Cooperation Organization.
We've arrived for the United Nations General Assembly, and usually it's an opportunity to be able to interact with global players in every facet of development. Since arrival, we've been able to have interactions with some international partners who are willing to come to Nigeria. It's an exciting time for Nigeria. Despite the challenges we are having, there's a lot of interest being shown in the Nigerian economy because we have what it takes to be a global player in the economic space.
We're all here in New York for the hunger, and the essence of this kind of meeting is to be able to meet potential investors for our state, especially state like Zamfara. We just had a meeting now with a company that is in charge of energy, and they're really doing well, and they have the financial capacity to be able to partner with state like Nigeria. So it's an important thing, and it's something that we're looking forward. And there's more to see and to meet within this period.
Governors at the event also lent their voices to the postulation against insecurity in Nigeria, while the officials reaffirmed Nigeria's dedication to supporting UN efforts in combating terrorism and promotion of global peace. And to other stories, Edo State Governor Godwin Obaseki has described the outcome of the September 21st governorship election in the state as a travesty of democracy. The governor made the remarks in a state broadcast after the announcement of results from the 18 local government areas of the state by the returning officer, Professor Farouk Adamukuta. He advised the citizens of the state to maintain peace and not resort to violence.
The attractive thing about democracy is the power it bestows on the people to choose who governs them. Therefore, when this power is blatantly seized from the people, it is not just a tragedy, but a travesty of democracy. Regrettably, the outcome of the September 21st governorship election appears to have daunted the spirit of many Edo people.
He described the electoral process leading to the victory of All Progressive Congress candidate Monday Okpebolo as loaded with impunity.
Clearly, it is obvious to the least discerning the amount of impunity and reckless disregard for processes and law that was displayed in this gubernatorial election. In a democracy, there are always safeguards for addressing grievances, and we hope that all those affected will seek resolution for this blatant disregard of law and process.
The defeated candidate of the People's Democratic Party in the just concluded governorship election in Edo State, Asue Godalo, has commended Edo voters for their sacrifice during Saturday's governorship election. The PDP candidate and runner-up in the election made the disclosure during a state broadcast in Benin City, the Edo State capital. According to Asue Godalo, despite the intimidation and heavy downpour, the people sacrificed their lives and time to vote.
Particularly thank the good people of Edo State who defied the rains, the intimidation, the threats of violence, harassment, arrests, and financial inducements to cast their votes for us overwhelmingly last Saturday, 21st September 2024. You are the true heroes of our democracy, and your sacrifices for a better Edo State will never be forgotten.
Meanwhile, the People's Democratic Party has officially rejected Edo State governorship election result announced by Independent National Electoral Commission. During a press briefing in Abuja, PDP Acting National Chairman Umar Damagum on Monday called on concerned Nigerians to support the party's rejection of the election results. The Independent National Electoral Commission announced on Saturday that Senator Monday Okpebolo of All Progressive Congress won the Edo State governorship election. Damagum claimed that the PDP candidate Godalo was the legitimate winner of the election and alleged that the election did not meet the necessary democratic standards. Damagum announced that the PDP would challenge the results declared by INEC in court and urged the people of Edo State to stay strong and steadfast. The PDP Acting National Chairman stated that the people of Edo State selected Godalo as their next governor and emphasized that only their will, as expressed at the polling units, should be respected. Let's learn to the news on Galaxy TV coming up next. Justice Inyangeko Federal High Court in Abuja dismisses suit seeking removal of Dr. Abdullahi Ganduje as National Chairman of APC. Details of that are coming after the break. Do stay with us. We are glad to have you back. Now for more updates and latest news, please visit our website www.galaxytvonline.com. Connect with us on our X handle at Galaxy TV. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Galaxy TV News. You can follow and interact with us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Galaxy TV. Remember to follow and tag us on our Instagram page at Galaxy TV. You can also avail our Eyewitness feature via WhatsApp. If you have breaking news around you, simply share your story by sending short clips or videos of the news on 0818 6666 669. Our social media platforms are user-friendly and can always accommodate your live updates and comments, as you can easily scan our IG QR code. Breaches of electoral laws and violation of some of the provisions are considered as electoral offences, of which the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended and Electoral Act 2010 vehemently kicked against. For some time now, vote buying has become the formidable dimensional trend in election malpractices in Nigeria, and this trend has totally usurped the genuine wishes of the electorate. Galaxy News correspondent Lebi Joseph has more in this report.
Vote buying was designed by politicians to induce the electorate at the polls, and this is gradually gaining prominence because of the poverty level in the country. To rid the phenomenon from the Nigerian political system will require a strong and decisive action from the law enforcement agencies. If not, the development could spell doom for the nation's nascent democracy.
We have regulations that say that once you forge or you try to bribe or you buy votes, that you have committed a crime and that you are going to be sent to jail by reason of committing that crime of buying votes.
Impunity is not a new thing to the political firmament in Nigeria. It's a regular thing, and if you recollect some times ago that a senator was caught in Imo State, specifically in Okigwe, with his sister and some other persons. They were caught stuffing ballots, hijacking and all whatnot. They were arrested. But as we speak now, nothing came out of it.
Implementation of existing laws on electoral offences and reorientation of electorates about the disadvantages of vote selling will go a long way at discouraging this form of election malpractices in the country.
Impunity that the chairman of INEC will come and tell the whole world that this particular election is going to be transparent, is going to be peaceful, is going to be fair and free, and that it will be transmitted live, real time, from the polling unit to IREF. When he came and told the whole world in Edo State that that was what was going to happen, was that what happened at the end of the day? 2, 3 people, yes, apparently they belong to PDP. We are expecting that is the report that we read. We are expecting that these people will have their day in court, so that if they are found guilty, people will start cautioning themselves, cautioning their wards from engaging in electoral malpractices. I think that's the only way out, because if you have not really have anybody jailed or convicted for a particular offense in Nigeria, people don't take it seriously.
From Lagos, this is Lebi Joseph reporting for Galaxy TV News.
Meanwhile, residents of Benin City, the other state capital, have blamed the administration of Governor Godwin Obaseki for the failure of the governorship candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Asue Godalo. The residents made this known while speaking on the outcome of Saturday's governorship election, which, according to many, did not come as a surprise. Although Governor Obaseki has blamed security agencies and electoral umpire INEC for the failure of his candidate, but some residents saw it differently.
For average Benin man, that we see how the governor disrespects the palace and still vote for his candidate. Truth be told, we might not know Asue Ighodalo is not a problem. Asue Ighodalo's problem is why do I think Edo-Ekpo voted that way? Maybe if it is the true reflection of what they voted, maybe the people are, it becomes a protest vote, not against Asue Ighodalo in person, because from all we've gathered from all our interactions, we don't think Edo-Ekpo have any issue with Asue Ighodalo. The issue Edo-Ekpo have always had is with the present incumbent governor, Godwin.
Well, so many things made the Edo people to vote. You and I were already aware about some of the issues. Lack of development at a level we expect in view of the people we elected 8 years ago, technocrats.
A pro-democracy group, the Center for Democracy and Development, CDD West Africa, has urged the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to enhance transparency in collation of results following observed shortcomings in Edo State governorship election. The CDD also recommended that INEC should collaborate with the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET, in future elections to reduce disruptions caused by rainfall. During the post-election media briefing in Abuja on Monday, Oluseyi, a fact-checking analyst with the CDD Election Analysis Center, delivered a statement on behalf of Professor Adele Jinodu, chairman of CDD EAC. It also called for swift investigation and prosecution of individuals caught engaging in vote buying during the Edo election. The group commended the security agencies for apprehending those involved in vote buying, but emphasized the importance of immediate prosecution.
CDD therefore recommends that any controversy or loss of confidence in that regard should be treated transparently and in a timely fashion before proceeding with final declarations. This particularly speaks to CDD's observed inconsistencies in Ovia Northeast, where incidences of blood results, overvoting, and disparity in result upload.
The CDD expressed concern over irregularities observed during the voting process, including instances where some individuals were allowed to vote without permanent voter's card in certain areas and attempt by political actors to disrupt the collation process. It also highlighted issues with some of the results uploaded by INEC, where voters recorded for the All Progressive Congress in certain units exceeded the number of accredited voters.
Despite the late start in several polling units, the voting process went on smoothly. Furthermore, notwithstanding the political tension, due mainly to the identity-driven rhetoric and disinformation that characterized the electioneering campaign, the voting process on election day was largely peaceful. Voters cast their ballots enthusiastically without the fear of violence.
In the wake of recent tension in Edo State following the outcome of Saturday's election, a civil society group is appealing to stakeholders in the state to embrace peace. Life Anchor International Development Foundation says in commemoration of International Day of Peace, the need to embrace peaceful coexistence is non-negotiable. The group says the International Day of Peace was established in 1981 by the United Nations General Assembly. 2 decades later, in 2001, the General Assembly unanimously voted to designate today as a period of non-violence and ceasefire. The Executive Director, Life Anchor International Development Foundation, Simon Agada, says the uniqueness of the theme for this year 2024 edition, Cultivating a Culture of Peace, is apt, very timely, and a clarion call on humanity for sober reflections.
Democracy is a new dimension in our history, and it may not be perfect as of today, but our appeal to all Nigerians, especially the good people of Edo State and other stakeholders, to ensure that peace is given a chance. It's a process. I'm sure we'll get it better one day. in every election, everybody cannot be a winner.
Agada called on all and sundry to return to self in a deep sober reflection to cautiously cultivate a culture of peace, especially at the family levels, traditional and religious institution, taking responsibilities to cultivate the culture of peace deliberately.
It's not going to develop along ethnic and religious lines. That has been a major problem, and that's why even the UN is speaking very loud this time around that, look, everybody, all of us must take responsibility, all hands must be on deck. Peace is just all that we need, because nothing else is going to work if we are not united. So we must accept the diversities. God has not made a mistake keeping us together as one Nigeria, and I believe that if we'll accept the culture, the religion, and all that bind us together as God's own design, we're going to make headway. So
Now to the story teased earlier, Justice Yang Eko of the Federal High Court in Abuja dismissed the suit seeking the removal of Dr. Abdullahi Ganduje as the national chairman of All Progressive Congress. In his judgment, he agreed with preliminary objection of the second defendant, who prayed the court to strike at the suit on the grounds that the claimant does not have the required local standing to institute the suit. The judge also agreed with preliminary objections of the third defendant, who argued that the name the claimant is sued in the Northern Central APC Forum is not a registered body. The justice also said that the plaintiff failed to explore the internal mechanism of the political party for peaceful resolution of issues on the subject matter before approaching the court. Additionally, he held that there was no cause for action against the defendant since the plaintiff has no power under any known law to institute any case in any Nigerian court, while he added that the appointment of officers for APC by its National Executive Committee is an internal affair of the party, which no court can dabble into. Hence, they proceeded to dismiss the suit. Now to other stories. Major General Marirensu Sarasil, General Officer commanding 1 Division Nigerian Army, has advised cadets of the Nigerian Defense Academy (NDA) to be good military leaders as they prepare to be commissioned into the Nigerian Armed Forces come Saturday. According to him, when they lead by example, it will lead troops working under them to risk their lives to follow them even in the most dangerous circumstances as young leaders. Sarasa gave the advice at the NDA Commandant's luncheon in honor of the passing out cadet of 71 regular course, the Red Short Service Course 28 Army, 32 Air Force in Kaduna. Major General Sarasa, who is also the commander of Operation Whale Punch, said the luncheon's purpose was not only to wine and dine, but to interact and guide the cadets to use their wealth of experiences effectively throughout their military career. The Commandant Nigerian Defense Academy, Major General John Ochai, while motivating the cadets, says other senior serving officers, including the retired ones, had endured the path they had just undertaken as cadets and the service life they had just yet to experience.
For the passing out cadets, I know this period from now till Saturday, the 28th of September 2024, when they shall formally be passing out from this institution and get commissioned into the armed forces of Nigeria. That day is going to mark a watershed in their career because they all have aspirations. There are so many things that attracted them to come into joining the armed forces of Nigeria. And that is going to be the beginning of the realization of those dreams and aspirations they've had over the years.
Catalyst to motivate them towards putting their best once they become officers. And it will also encourage a lot of them to choose infantry as a career path to becoming generals, just the way General Saraso has achieved. His exemplary character is worthy of emulation by these cadets. And that is just the message. Give them their best, ensure that they eschew all elements of discrimination, race, gender, religion, ethnicity.
The Assistant Inspector General of Police in charge of Zone 4 Makadi AIG Okoro Julius Lawari has assured the Benue people of his commitment to entrench peace and security of lives and property in the land, while calling on full cooperation of the people and other stakeholders in achieving peace and security. The AIG gave the assurance shortly after he assumed office as the 43rd AIG of Zone 4, comprising Nasarawa Plateau and Benue State. AIG Lawari, speaking to newsmen at the zonal headquarters in Makadi, says he is here to correct the mistakes and provide the needed solutions while addressing some of the challenges affecting the people in some of the communities in a distant time, as Benue is a familiar place.
We shall not relent in our efforts. We must make sure that Benue State continue to remain peaceful. Now I have an assistant who is the Commissioner of Police. So we shall both work together to make sure that all those problems that they have been saying are taken care of. We shall not relent in that. We've heard of some problems that happened. We saw the mistakes they made. We are here to correct all of them to be sure that such mistakes do not happen again.
The AIG, who has served in Benue and Plateau states as former Commissioner of Police, called on police officers to exhibit utmost professionalism in the discharge of their duties.
Policemen are happier now than before. Don't have reasons to complain, because in comparison to some other workers in Nigeria, they're a better place.
Still on security, students and staff members of Federal University Gusau in Zamfara State who were kidnapped by bandits have regained their freedom after 7 months in captivity. The victims were reportedly kidnapped during an attack in the Gusau area in February of this year. Security analysts and counterinsurgency experts confirmed the release in a report via X on Monday. While the exact circumstances surrounding the release remain unclear, Zagazola's sources indicated that the security forces played a pivotal role in securing the victims' freedom. The news brings relief to families and the academic community who have been waiting for the safe return of their loved ones. Benue residents living along the river plain have been advised to relocate to higher and safer ground, designated as safe places for them to avoid the impending flood disaster likely to take place anytime soon. The Benue State government gave the advice shortly after inspecting the water level of River Benue, which has reached a scary level for residents to start moving to safe grounds. The Commissioners for Water Resources and that of Humanitarian Affairs both inspected the water level following the gradual release of water from Lagdo Dam in Cameroon, where they both emphasized the need for residents to move to the places the government has provided at International Market and Guest School, Anobe School, Art Develop RCM School in Nagatu, among others.
And we'll keep taking record of our gauge. And what we have as at this morning is a little bit scary. And as at this morning, it rose, you understand, to 09.57. Last year, the highest level, the water level went to was 10.20. But going by the rate that the water level is increasing now, I believe by the end of today, we'll hit 10.
And we're well prepared. Like in Benue, we have set up a clean and fumigate international market to those who are living on the low areas, and the water banks should move to that area. The water has risen to a danger level, and we are out to make sure that we increase the level of awareness. So those are preparedness, those living by the water banks and those at the low level should move to the high and safer ground.
Residents along the Ibadan Circular Road network whose houses have been demolished or marked for demolition this morning staged a peaceful protest to the Oyo State Government Secretariat in their large numbers. Their demands include immediate stoppage of demolition of houses and reversal of the 500-meter setback the government is implementing. They claim that over 300,000 people will be displaced across 6 local government areas, which include Ido, Akinyele, Oluyole, Onwara, Egbeda and Lagele local government areas. They appeal to the Seyi Makinde-led government to reinstate the decision of 500-meter corridor on both sides of the road to the original 75 meters.
We are pleading to Engineer Seyi Makinde to please maintain the 75 to the right and that to the left, as approved by the former Senator Rashid Ladoja. We are pleading that no more corridor. You can see the masses, except from Abiola election in 1993. No free and fair election like the one we posted on Seyi Makinde in 2023.
We are pleading on to our governor to please come to our heads, to come and help us. We want him to secure us now. We don't want 75, we only want 75. We don't want 150. We don't want 500. This is our communities here, not even one communities. We are more than 5 communities here.
Meanwhile, Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde has appealed to the protesters to be law-abiding, while stressing the previous administration made the decision of the 500-meter setback. He, however, stated that the people themselves put the government into power, hence the decision to reverse the corridor setback to 75 meters. He assured them that demolition of houses will stop as from now, and he implored them to set up a committee among them to be meeting with government team on their challenges.
There's been a lot of misconception, misinformation. What they said to me is, look, we want the circular road, but we don't want the corridor. And I said, yes, we must plan. The corridor that they're talking about, 500 meters to the right, 500 meters to the left, this administration did not bring that on board. It was the previous administration.
You're still on to the news on Galaxy TV. Let's go on a break. When we come back, the news continues. We are glad to have you back. Now moving on with the rest of the stories. The Lagos State government emphatically admonishes all motorists, both private and commercial, to desist forthwith from the continued infringement on bus rapid transit BRT lanes across the state. This directive follows the impoundment of over 488 vehicles by the Lagos State Traffic Management Authority, LATSMA, for breaching BRT lane regulations between January and August 2024. Particular attention is drawn to motorists traversing the Abulegba BRT corridor. They are strongly urged to cease further contraventions, as the Lagos State Public Works Corporation (LSPWC) has recently completed extensive road rehabilitation from Abulegba to Yanokwaja, especially near Super Ilepo and Katangwa Market. The road's improved condition renders the lawful use of BRT lane both redundant and inexcusable. While the Lagos State government remains resolute in its mission to provide cutting-edge infrastructure for the benefit of all citizens, such effort requires the active cooperation of road users. Motorists are thus enjoined to exhibit discipline and patience, fostering a safer and more efficient traffic environment. The Director General Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission, Dr. Jobson Iwalifo, has said that the construction of the $3.5 billion Bakassi deep-sea port would soon commence. This is contained in a statement issued by the ICRC's acting head of media and publicity in Abuja. A Wali Force made this known at a high-level stakeholders meeting where a statement of endorsement for the port project was signed. The ICRC DG, who said the construction would commence under the administration of Governor Basil II of Cross River State, assured that the project would be completed in record time. He assured the governor of Cross River State that the project would be completed under his tenure with the support of Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy, the Shippers Council and all the stakeholders. The DG said that the port was very important as it would diversify the traffic from the western port and serve as a relief to the eastern parts of Nigeria. A fatal car crash at Lekki Ikoyi Link Bridge tollgate in Lagos has resulted in the death of 3 young individuals and ignited controversy over the handling of the incident by the police. The accident, which occurred around 1 a.m. on Monday, involved 2 cars carrying approximately 8 people. The crash had immediate and tragic consequences. 2 died on the spot and 1 passed away a few minutes after being pulled from the wrecked car. However, the aftermath of the accident and the handling of the situation by the police who arrived at the scene drew criticism from onlookers. An ex-user describing the scene said instead of helping, the police who arrived at the scene handcuffed the survivors. This action reportedly shocked bystanders, including local elders, who urged the police to prioritize the victims' care. A dispatch rider at the scene provided a harrowing account, stating that one of the team was still breathing when he brought him out but stopped breathing after about 10 minutes. However, the Lagos State Police Public Relations Officer SP Benjamin Udeyi said the police equally took the driver at fault at the hospital for medical attention and left him in custody of his family after they were contacted. Now we move to the international desk for more news.
Hello and welcome to Foreign News. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has begun a high-stake visit to the United States, during which he will present Kyiv's plan to end the more than 2.5-year-old war against invading Russian forces to U.S. President Joe Biden, as well as election rivals Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. Zelensky, who will also attend the annual meeting of the United Nations on Tuesday and Wednesday, urged Ukraine's allies to help achieve a shared victory for a truly just peace. He is expected to present his peace proposals, which he has dubbed a victory plan, to Biden on Thursday, before later meeting Harris, who is vice president. His office has said he expects to meet Republican candidate Trump on Thursday or Friday, although no date has been officially announced. Israeli air raids on southern Lebanon have killed at least 182 people and wounded 727, according to Lebanese health officials. The Israeli army said on Monday that it had launched more than 300 air raids at sites used by the Iran-backed armed group Hezbollah. The increased hostilities raise further fears of an all-out war between Israel and Hezbollah, or even a wider regional conflagration. Lebanon's Ministry of Public Health said in a statement cited by state media that children, women and medics were among the victims of the air attacks. The announcement came hours after the Israeli military had warned civilians to move away from places it claimed were being used by Hezbollah, which caused a barrage of rockets into northern Israel the previous day. The mayor of the only city in the United States with an all-Muslim government has endorsed former President Donald Trump for November's presidential election. Ahmed Ghalib, who leads the city of Tamrick in the crucial battleground state of Michigan, said that the Republican candidate is a man of principles and the right choice, despite their disagreements on some issues. Trump reposted Ghalib's endorsement on his Truth Social platform shortly after the announcement. Hamtramck, who has a population of about 28,000 people, made headlines in 2021 when it became the first U.S. city to elect an all-Muslim city council and a Muslim mayor. And still on the foreign news, Ukraine has accused Russia of flouting maritime law by trying to put the Kerch Strait under its sole control. The warring nations faced off at an international court in the Netherlands on Monday to fight over the strategic waterway that lies between mainland Russia and the occupied Crimean Peninsula. Kyiv started proceedings at the court in 2016 after Moscow began building the 19 kilometers Crimea bridge linking its mainland to the peninsula, which it seized from Ukraine 2 years earlier. It's now an important supply route for Moscow's troops fighting on the Eastern Front. Russia's Gennady Guzman denied that Moscow interfered with navigation and said the court had no right to rule in the case. Moscow says Ukraine is seeking to have the PCA rule on the sovereignty of Crimea, which is beyond its scope. The court ruled in 2020 that Russia had a point and asked Ukraine to refile its case accordingly. At least 6 people have been confirmed dead on Japan-Noto Peninsula after floods struck an area still recovering from a major earthquake 9 months ago. Heavy rain pounded the area over the weekend with more than 540 millimeters of rain recorded in the city of Wajima over 72 hours, the heaviest continuous rain since comparative data became available. The region is still recovering from a magnitude of 7.5 earthquake on January 1st, which toppled buildings, triggered landslides, and sparked a massive fire. Flood water inundated emergency housing built for those who had lost their homes in the earthquake, which killed at least 374 people, according to the Ishikawa regional government. Some of them missing were workers on quake-related construction project to help rescue workers after tens of thousands of residents were urged to evacuate. And finally, on foreign news, a murder investigation has begun after a teenage boy was stabbed to death in southeast London with what police believe was a zombie-style knife. The Metropolitan Police said officers and emergency services had been called to Eglinton Road in Woolwich just after 18:30 BST. Police said the boy, aged 15, had been found with a stabbed injury and died at the scene. Detectives are yet to make any arrest. One witness said she had heard the boy say, "Don't let me die," as he lay injured on the ground. Giving an update, the detective Chief Superintendent Trevor Lorry said the fact that a 15-year-old teenager who had his whole life ahead of him has been taken from his family in this way is a stark and sobering reminder of the danger of zombie-style knives. The death comes a day before new legislation will come into force to make it illegal to possess zombie-style knives and machetes in England and Wales. Lorry appealed for witnesses, dashcam and doorbell footage. And that's all we have on the foreign news.
Coming your way next, entertainment news.
Welcome to Entertainment News. My name is Rose Blossom Mwe. Here are the stories on the news today. Nollywood actors Betty Okafor and Chukwuebuka Ajoko has officially tied the knot in a beautiful traditional ceremony. Surrounded by family and friends, the couple celebrated their union with vibrant cultural displays and heartfelt moments. Their fans and colleagues celebrated with them massively on their wedding, wishing them a blissful and long-lasting marriage. Meanwhile, Nollywood actress Jemima Oshunde recently shared her fears about the state of governance in Nigeria following the Edo State gubernatorial elections. In a post, Jemima wrote that clamoring on social media and creating hashtags campaign for a better government didn't work. She also mentioned that protesting in the streets didn't work. This was made with reference to the nationwide protest that took place a few months ago in order to reduce the price of fuel across the country. Jemima Oshunde went on to also highlight that even though Nigerians got their voters card and went out to vote their preferred candidate so that their votes would count, it didn't change anything. Closing her tweet, Jemima Oshunde pondered on what would actually make a difference in Nigeria, and she also asked what would help make Nigeria a better place. Jemima's tweet seemed to resonate with a lot of people as they gave a nod of approval while proceeding to add their own input. In another news, on September 22, 2024, Asake received a silver plaque for his sophomore album at a sold-out O2 Arena concert. Following the release of his third album, Lungu Boy, Asake embarked on a world tour where he headlined notable venues including the famous O2 Arena. Asake wowed fans with a rendition of its hit records at the sold-out concert that also had in attendance Grammy winner Wizkid and actor Idris Elba, who presented Asake with a sold-out plaque and a braid silver plaque for his album Work of Art. Work of Art became Asake's second album to receive a braid silver plaque after his debut album Mr. Money with the Vibes, which also got a silver certification in the UK. Finally, on entertainment news, following the release of his third album, Lungu Boy, Asake embarked on a world tour where he headlined notable venues, including the famous O2 Arena. With his latest feat of selling out the 20,000 capacity O2 Arena, Asake joins fellow Afrobeat stars Davido and Wizkid as Nigerians who have sold out the O2 Arena more than once. Asake's first sold out the iconic venue in 2023 following the release of his sophomore album in a moment that announced his global ascension. O2 Arena is a notable venue that has documented Afrobeat's global rise. Davido made history in 2018 when he became the first Nigerian solo act to headline the O2 Arena. Wizkid also headlined the O2 Arena as a solo act in 2019 before returning to the venue for a historic 3 consecutive nights in 2021. And that'll be all on entertainment news today. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Rose Blossom. Bye for now.
Now, for more updates and latest news, please visit our website www.galaxytvonline.com. Connect with us on our X handle at Galaxy TV. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Galaxy TV News. You can follow and interact with us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Galaxy TV. Remember to follow and tag us on our Instagram page at Galaxy TV. You can also avail our Eyewitness feature via WhatsApp. If you have breaking news around you, simply share your story by sending short clips or videos of the news on 0818-6666-669. Our social media platforms are user-friendly and can always accommodate your live updates and comment, as you can easily scan our IG QR code. And that is all we have for you. We thank you so much for watching. My name is Yorubami Salako. Goodbye.